Controversial handballs, a truckload of missed chances, and a referee blowing the game early. It had it all, this cup tie. Welcome back to Fog Football. Celtic 2, Killie 1. We were hoping for Derek McInnes to lay the smackdown tonight. He didn't quite, but you know what? It was a decent game for the neutral. But the reality is, I'll take an absolute disgusting game of football if Killie advanced into round 5.
Aye, but they're not, so let's just end it there, eh?
Let's just end it there, alright? Nicholas Kuhn should be sent off immediately, run straight into the face of Robbie McCrory, knee to the coupon. McCrory has to get subbed off, man. It was like, this has to be a red. Sarcasm aside, it was a pretty nasty collision between both of them. Knee against face, 9 times out of 10, the knee is going to win. And that's what happened here. McCrory basically got up. Well, I say basically got up, but 4 minutes later he got up, then he walked off and he got subbed off. Hopefully he's alright, but you could see the bruising pretty much immediately on his face here. Good start from Celtic though.
Sad, because McCrory's been pretty good for Kilmarnock after becoming the number 2. He's got his way back into the team. But
I had a ropey start, didn't he?
Yeah.
Carter Vickers though, he flattens Murray. We get a free kick here for Murray and it rattles the crossbar. Killie could have been 1-0 up here, but they're not. Maida and Kuhn hit on the counter from this, hitting the crossbar, and then O'Hara saves. For me, I don't think Celtic were particularly bad today. The finishing was, but Maida and Kuhn can hold their head up. I don't think they really put a foot wrong. They created a lot of opportunities for Kyogo, Adea when he came on, and other players in the midfield, but there was just Atati's not the player he was last season. He must have missed about 4 clear-cut opportunities today, right? Cal McGregor, he only really had one opportunity though. He made it 1-0. Awful defending from Killie. Great finish from McGregor, but as Martin O'Neill said at half-time, and if this analysis is good enough for me and it's good enough for Martin O'Neill, then it must be good enough, because what are Killie doing? Just close the guy down, man. Don't close him down. And we know he's the best midfielder on this planet, so if you give him any sort of space, he's going to put it in the bottom right-hand corner, and that's what he did. 1-0.
Calmac does what Calmac does.
Yeah, I honestly, I just do not understand though the defending here. Like, Derek McInnes knows. It's like, see when you set up so defensively sound, but you give away a goal so cheap like this, it's almost like, well, what was the point of what you were training for the entire week, man? Absolutely mental. Kyogo then gets played through, I believe it was from Engels, and he puts it wide of the post. This will be a recurring theme. Polworth then gets tackled by Atati, but Atati pulled out of it, and Polworth flings himself to the ground. Awful from Polworth. You know why? Because see if he doesn't try and get the penalty here, trying to wait for the contact, he could actually run through and get a shot on target. Pathetic. I hate this, man. And correct decision. Never a penalty, right? So there we go. There's me defending the ref about not giving a penalty against Celtic. How about those apples, man? What's that all about?
Those apples taste sour.
They do taste
You're
sour.
These apples, Jack.
Aye, no, Hatate then misses an open net. Horrific miss. I put on the Fog Football Twitter that he near hit the Eiffel Tower with this one. No, how does he miss? Engels should have an assist here. This should be another stat to add to his cause, but it's not, because Hatate missed it.
Hatate's been, I'm not going to say he's been wank, but he's been...
some people would describe him as that, though.
He's been really poor, I think, for a while. Coming in, I'd say probably pound for pound, I think he was probably Celtic's best player. In terms of ability, Hatate is, for me, it's between Hatate and Kyogo coming into this season, but I think Kyogo's been no bad, but Hatate's been rotten.
Yeah, and
honestly, you're thinking maybe Celtic should have cashed it when they had the chance.
And it's not like his head's been turned by a transfer. He's not that sort of guy, so I don't know. Maybe he's just had a really bad spell, but
that could just be bad form, but the guy, he's bang average at the moment, and he doesn't. We talk about pecking order, he should probably be 5th in the Celtic midfield.
Yeah, I think McGregor's lucky the day he scored a goal, because people, I went on the starting 11 on Twitter, and people were like, why is McGregor starting, why is Atati starting? To be fair to Engels, he was robbed of a few assists today, because people's finishing was just horrific. Speaking of that though, Engels and McGregor, a few really sloppy touches in midfield, and if Killie had any sort of quality, they could have made it pay, but they didn't. Kyogo then misses another one-on-one, and you're thinking, right, you really need to be putting these in the back of the net, son. Leon's then gets took off injured.
You can keep missing them, as far as I'm concerned. Like.
Well, that's true. Armstrong then has a shot dragged wide. He came on for the injured Big Brad. And then we get the goal, 1-1. The ball was fizzed across. It strikes off the arm of... Oh, God, I can't even... Was it Ndab? No, it wasn't Ndab. I can't even remember who it strikes off the arm. But it falls to Big Bobby Wales, and he puts it into the back of the net. Now... To the naked eye, if you don't know the rules, you would assume that Celtic got robbed here because you know what? It blatantly hits the arm. And I think this rule is ridiculous, right? So you can't score after it hits your hand, but someone else can score after it hits your hand. You can assist with your hand, but you can't score. Where do you draw the line?
You just can't directly score with a handball. That would be bullshit.
No, but the rule is even if you handball it and then hit it on like the volley or take a touch and score, it would be ruled out. To me, that's just like what we do. I totally understand. You're coming from the point of if it hits the hand, goes straight in. But it hits the hand here and plays through Bobby Wales and he puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah, but then you could argue if you hits your hand, you're still the one that's taking advantage of that handball, whereas the rule kind of would suggest that if it hits your hand and then someone else gets a touch, then it's like, you know, it's almost not a different phase of play, but it's, you know, something else has happened. I think that is right.
Well, yeah, it's the rules, so it is right. But again, I don't agree with it, right, personally. I think if it hits the hand, then... I mean, it's like... I think it's one thing if it hits the hand in the fifth pass to build up to a goal, but it hits his hand and literally plays through Bobby Wales for an absolute tap-in.
Yeah, but if we're getting to the point where you don't think any sort of handball should be allowed in the build-up to a goal, then that's pretty much saying any handball for a defensive player is a penalty.
But I don't know what the handball...
It's the same thing.
I honestly don't know what the handball rule is anymore, to be honest, man. Sometimes it's...
You know, maybe it would be simpler if they just made it every single handball's a foul.
Yeah.
That way there could be no complaints. Unless, of course, they just don't pick up on the handball.
No, but there'll be a lot of people watching this game, right? Michael Stewart, they did pretty much dumb it down in commentary and say this goal has to be given just due to the rules, right? And I knew the rules anyway, but there's people watching this, right? They probably have it on mute because Michael Stewart's on, don't blame them. And they're like, how the fuck's that given? And you know what? You can understand why they would think that. But it's written in the rules, so therefore it just has to be given. But, you know... If it was written in the rules that one on-field player was allowed to carry a rocket launcher, you'd still feel a wee bit hard done by.
Yeah, but it all depends on whether it's determined to be like an intentional handball or not. Obviously, if a player uses his hand to control the ball and then passes it to his teammate and his teammate scores, that's not going to count. So it all depends on whether they think that the handball is happening naturally.
Yeah, and it was natural. So I guess when you look at it like that... It's a wee grey area into it, but I tell you what, it was speaking of grey, neutral's grey, and you know what, for the neutral this was great because Killie made it 1-1. Celtic the holders on the ropes. We go into the second half. Brendan needs to get a tune at them, folks. Kuhn hits the bar, Hattati has a shot saved, he missed another pretty easy chance. Killie though, they're going man for man, right? They're going for it. They're creating half decent opportunities. Kasper Schmeichel to me looks overweight. Do you think that's a fair assumption? He's playing in the slippers, he's smoking cigars, he's eating Mr. Kipling's. Do we blame the guy?
I wasn't really looking at his weight, to be honest. I never noticed it.
No, I noticed it, looked on Twitter, and within about 3 seconds of scrolling, I've seen about 4 people discussing it. So obviously I'm not the only one.
Well, that's piss poor, considering there's a big Champions League game coming up.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of missed chances for Celtic, you know, Maida and Kuhn. And
I'm not saying it would be acceptable if Celtic were out of Europe and they had this points gap over Rangers, but at least you could go, well, you know what, I mean, the fucking season's pretty much already over for them.
Yeah, I mean...
But Celtic's still in the Champions League, man. You'd think that the players should be in their peak condition.
Yeah, Kuhn cuts in, he finds Maida. I mean, it's pretty poor defence from Killie again, but great pass, great finish, 2-1. Adea comes on, we know the story here, doesn't do much.
I actually thought Adea done alright today from what I've seen. I thought
he's getting absolutely blasted on Twitter, by the way.
No, he had some decent... See, I think it's unfortunate because on that counter-attack, he plays it to Kuhn.
And he should score.
And Kuhn should score. And if Kuhn scores, then Ida gets the assist and everyone's saying, oh, Ida, look at Ida, he done well there. But because Kuhn didn't score, people are now going to blame Ida, and they're going to say, oh, what kind of striker doesn't shoot for there? What kind of striker passes it for there? A good striker would have finished that. And here, maybe a striker with confidence would have took it on himself. But I actually think in that position, Ida done the right thing.
No, he did do the right thing.
And it's not Ida's fault that Kuhn has had that shot saved.
Put it this way, right? If he shoots and misses it, people are hating on him way more than for passing it and Kuhn missing it.
Yeah, but because Kuhn missed, Kuhn's not the one really getting the blame. People are saying, well, Ida's a striker, should have had more confidence, should have scored that, shouldn't be taking these away, blah, blah, blah. I thought Ida played some decent balls when he came on here. I don't think he was great, but
he helped the physical nature of the game. But
it's the best I've seen him in a while.
I tell you what, though,
maybe this criticism that he's received lately. I know he got quite a lot the other night.
It's a conundrum though, because Kyogo missed a host of chances today. Who starts up front against Young Boys? Because
Kyogo 100%.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see with Big Rogers. But then Killie got a free
Hold on, you're going to criticise. You're going to say Kyogo should be dropped for missing a few chances, but Ida who hasn't scored in like 2 months should play.
Look, you were defending with Ida there, and then you've just
no. I am defending him because I think he was all right when he came on today, and it's not his fault. Kuhn didn't score that, but I think it's mental to suggest that Kyogo should maybe be dropped for the Champions League game because he missed some opportunities today. When Ida's been missing opportunities for 2 months straight.
He has been, but I wouldn't say. Is Ida really? He hasn't really got into the position though to miss these like clear-cut opportunities. We'll see what Rodgers does. I think he will start Kyogo against Young Boys, but the thing is, we're saying on comment, you cannot afford to not take these chances. And against Young Boys, I know they're shite and they're like one of the bottom teams in the Champions League, but they are better than Killie at the end of the day. And Celtic were good today.
Are they?
What, Young Boys?
Aye.
Oh, come on, fuck off. They're better than Killie.
I don't know, are they?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Well, what makes you... name me the Young Boys player that would get into the Killie's team then.
Fuck off, I'm going to start naming the 11 Young Boys team.
Could you name me one player?
No.
There you go.
There you go. How does that strengthen your argument that Young Boys are better?
Well, because you... So what are you basing the fact that Killie are better than Young Boys on?
Because we watch Scottish football, I know about Kilmarnock.
Hold on.
I just don't know.
Right.
No, if Kilmarnock got Young Boys in the qualifiers for Europe, I think Kilmarnock could have a chance.
But that doesn't mean they're better. That's different gravy.
Maybe not better, but I don't think there's much in it.
Hold on, right? I've watched a lot of championship games this season, a lot of Falkirk games. I've watched more Falkirk games this season than Real Madrid. Doesn't fucking mean Falkirk are better than Real Madrid. What we've watched more of doesn't mean shit. I've watched a lot more Rangers games this season than Celtic.
No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting I think Kilmarnock are good enough to give Young Boys a game.
Yeah, but what we got on this wee tyrant here was about the fact that Killie are better than Young Boys. It wasn't they can compete against them. Anyway.
No, you were suggesting that Young Boys are a lot better than Kilmarnock. And I don't think that's I'm just not convinced that's the case.
When I say they're a lot better, I would describe it as like an 80-20.
Where would Young Boys finish? Where would Young Boys finish in Scotland?
I think they'd finish third.
What form of Hearts are you taking into consideration here?
The one that's 11th and couldn't buy a win in fucking Europe.
Alright, what about last season? Where would Young Boys have finished in the league?
Maybe fourth.
What about the first 11 games this season?
Definitely.
Ahead of Rangers.
Aye, definitely. Probably.
Nah, look, to me, Young Boys... I can see Young Boys finishing third in Scotland, but I could also see them finishing fourth or fifth.
Right. Right, Liam Scales.
I don't think it's one of those situations where Young Boys are like a level below Celtic and Rangers, but levels above everyone else. I don't view it that way.
Yeah, but they're better than Killie is my ending argument. Anyway, Liam Scales at left back wasn't exactly great today when he came on there. So, yeah, thoughts on that?
Killie finished fourth last season. Alright, they're underperforming a wee bit this year, but for me, consistently, I think when Killie gets back...
Does Liam Scales go by the nickname of Killie, or did you just blank my question?
I blanked your question because I think you're underrating Kilmarnock here. This is a good win for Celtic.
Young Boys are better than Killie, right? They just are. I'm not having...
What's a tougher game for Celtic? Away in Switzerland or at Rugby Park?
Well, based off their European form, away.
Alright, what if you put Rugby Park in Switzerland?
It'd be cold as the Alps, like, I mean...
Yeah, see?
Anyway, right.
Let's just agree to disagree.
I'll tell you what was his...
No, look, Young Boys are decent, but I just don't think they're miles ahead of the other decent teams in Scotland. That's it. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, but they're easily third best in Scotland.
I think when Hearts, Aberdeen, Hibernian, and Kilmarnock, I think when they're good, I think they're close to Young Boys.
Yeah, but when Young Boys are shite this season, maybe when they're good, they're above Rangers and Celtic.
No, I'd agree. I'd probably agree with that. Aye.
But then it's if, buts, maybes. And I tell you what, there's no if, buts, maybes but this. The referee blew the whistle 40 seconds early. Alright? Free kick. I'm not giving you it. Fuck
yeah, no, well, I mean, first of all, it should not have took him that long to determine that the Maida's goal was offside.
Adair was offside by 2 yards,
man. Clearly offside. It took about 2 minutes and 40 seconds to come to the conclusion that the goal would not stand, that it was offside, but the referee only added 2 minutes exactly on at the end. And here, would Kilmarnock have scored?
No.
Unlikely. But there was definitely enough time for them to the referee to at least let them take the free kick and see how the free kick played out. As soon as they whacked it up, man, the referee blew the whistle.
No, I don't get, right? The referee and the linesman, he blew the whistle and the linesman had his
it's fucking annoying because you see Kilmarnock getting ready to take the free kick and you've got your fingers crossed praying. You're praying for a hero, Bruce Anderson, to step up. I mean, just like Robert de Bruce, you're hoping that Bruce Anderson will step up and do it. And then as soon as the free kick's taken, whistle blows.
And de Bruce.
You know, it's like, it's heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking, but I mean, I don't understand the goal.
And now I need to support Celtic on Wednesday night, so it's like, fucking hell. I need to wait till next week.
Supporting Celtic against Young Boys must be the only one. Right, but in terms of the Dyson Maida goal here...
The Scottish coefficient's fucked. I need to support Celtic.
Alright. I'll let you know a secret why it's fucked. Because your club's pish, mate. That's why it's fucked.
I'm sure if you look hard enough it's inside Celtic Park, you'll spot at least one Scotland flag. I mean, you might need to get the binoculars out, but there's probably one in there.
Maybe you're colourblind and your greens mean blue.
I mean, if you look past all the tricolours and Palestine flags, you probably will find a Scotland flag in there. So, yeah, I think that's why the Scotland flags don't get flown. Because they got blue in it.
Well, let me just get my point across, maybe. I don't know, right? But see the Maida goal, why was it even getting checked? The referee blew his whistle before it even hit the ball.
Yeah, so what I don't get is,
what the fuck are we doing?
Let's say Maida's onside and let's say Ida's onside. The referee has got his flag up and therefore surely the goal can't stand anyway because they've stopped the play.
Killie players stopped and so did Celtic players. We've seen this Arsenal and Liverpool, I believe, this season. Arsenal scored, but the referee blew the whistle just before the ball went in and he couldn't give it. So, I don't understand what they were checking here. Because even, right, they drew the lines for Maida, right? But why do you draw the lines for a guy in the second phase of the goal and not the first phase? Say Maida's onside. How does this goal still get given when Adair was offside? And they can't say different phase. It's like within 10 seconds. How's it a different phase? It's ridiculous. They don't know how to use VAR.
So I'm assuming if the linesman puts his flag up, but the referee doesn't blow the whistle, and this goal goes in, and it was onside, it would count, even though the linesman got it wrong. But I think you could argue the linesman putting his flag up, that to me could be a distraction. I know you play to the whistle, but if the linesman's not sure, he shouldn't put his flag up. But he did put his flag up.
You know what he should have did? See, as soon as
and he was right. So I don't know why it took them 2 minutes and 40 minutes. 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, but no, it's retarded, right? He stuck his flag up for no, but he stuck his flag up, right, for the pass to Adair, and he did it before the pass to Maida even happened. But then they gave the offside for the pass to Maida that was already happened post whistle. It's like, what are we doing?
Anyway, look, Celtic won. Celtic deserved to win. Close game, decent enough. Kilmarnock put up a good fight. If you only lose by 1 goal at Celtic Park, you've normally
done all right.
You know, you've normally done something right. And
2 games tomorrow though. Raith Falkirk, Premier Sports, Rangers Fraserburgh. You're looking forward to them?
I mean, Falkirk Raith maybe. Rangers Fraserburgh's just a waste of a game.
That isn't it?
I mean, and you know what, Rangers? Why is Brendan Rodgers bringing Luke McCowan on? By the way, in the 90th minute or the 89th minute? It's a Scottish Cup. You're winning. Like, why is the youth not getting a chance?
2-1, I guess. It was pretty close.
Yeah, I know, but why are fringe players not getting an opportunity? See tomorrow, surely Rangers against Fraserburgh are going to be playing...
Different kettle of fish, though.
No, I know, but surely you're going to see the likes of Leon King and stuff getting in there.
Oh, I'd like to see it, but you know what? Celtic fans will argue, well, you know what? We don't give youth players a chance, and we start our strongest teams, and we win treble after treble after treble. And you know what? You can't that if they use that argument against the people greeting about not using youth, you can't really disagree with it too much.
Yeah, but you could argue it's holding the club back in the long run. Just because you're good enough to win loads of trophies domestically, that doesn't mean that you're not hampering your club in with a longer goal in Europe and stuff by not bringing through youth players.
Yeah, but I get that, but to me the argument more works for Rangers, where it's like, here, your players who you're bringing in from abroad aren't working, so why not give the youth a try? But Celtic will argue the players we have brought in are working tenfold and they're winning trophies, so that's why we haven't given youth a try.
I'd argue if the likes of Dokes and Rockafata actually got more game time, then maybe they wouldn't be down in tools and leaving. Potentially.
Anyway, we're going to down this
I don't think there's any potential about it.
No, but we'll see where it goes, huh?
I mean, look at England. The top teams regularly in the League Cup and the early rounds of the FA Cup, they play fringe. We're talking maybe third string players here.
No.
And you know what? Sometimes they do that against like fellow top flight clubs. No, but we see Celtic and Rangers against lower league opposition sometimes, and you're lucky if you get one like young player in there.
No, I see where you're coming from, right? But see, down in England, they don't give a fuck about the cups. Cups are worthless to them.
Well, that's a good point.
No. See if you go on Twitter, right?
Say what you want, but the cups do matter. Even the League Cup, it matters because it's another trophy.
See if you go on Twitter and you look at like a Man City fan, a United fan, a Liverpool fan, Arsenal. They do not give a rat's arse about the League Cup. They might care about the FA Cup if they're in the final, but see when it's like third round,
and also
it's a fucking they don't care.
And another thing, they don't care about their rivals potentially going on to win it.
No.
Say if Celtic or Rangers are knocked out, the first thing they automatically think is, which they're going to, or the other team from across the city is going to go on and win it.
Oh.
Like, see if Arsenal get knocked out the League Cup in the fourth round, they don't think, oh shit, Spurs are going to go on and win it. Or, United don't think City's going to go on and win it.
No, we were a rerun of I think it was the 2016 Scottish Cup final came on last night, and Neil McCann was like, when you were growing up, you didn't dream of winning the league. You dreamt of winning the Scottish Cup. And it's like, you can feel that in Scottish football. I think if someone came out in English football and turned around and said that, they'd get fucking laughed at.
Is that because of the money?
I think it's because of the money.
Because the money's went into the Premier League.
Yeah, it's like the money for winning the Scottish Premiership. Obviously, when you factor in the Champions League, it is a lot, right? And if you asked fucking...
But here, because do you not think, obviously, the FA Cup will have benefited from the Premier League becoming so globalised. I'm not stupid, not denying that. But do you not feel like, even when you look at production... It's like the Premier League's the one that's on Sky Sports. The Premier League's the one that's showcased and advertised. The FA Cup still, I think, feels more... The FA Cup's more passable for 20 years ago than the Premier League is.
Yep.
See, if you look at the FA Cup in 2025, and let's say you look at the FA Cup in 2005, it's like not much is different, but if you look at the Premier League, it's changed a lot. So could it just be that you think because the Premier League's became so commercial and globalised, and the FA Cup hasn't really, that the focus is all on the Premier League?
No, yeah, that's what it is. So, no, but see if you listen, right? See your Americans and your Chinese fans and your Australian fans. They do not give a fuck about the cups. I heard this TikTok the other day about these Americans, like, oh, why don't we scrap the last 8 match days and turn it into a playoff system, man? And imagine the Spurs and Arsenal semi-final playoff. Oh, how great would that be? Keep the Carabao Cup though. It's like, no, you're just fucking butchering something that doesn't need touched. They don't care. That's what it is. Because see in America, right? I'm not saying they don't show the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, but I mean, I'm actually willing to bet decent money they probably didn't. Didn't.
Nah, see the playoff thing. I think it's bullshit. Why should you win a tournament? Why should you win a league when, over the course of the league phase, you can be, way worse, but just sneak into, one of the, the top 6 or whatever?
No, no, I don't agree with it.
that's how it's like. See in NFL, like you can the regular season, you can win 17-0, or you can have a eight. What's the word be like a 9-8 record, and with a nine, even with a negative record, you can still go through. So, like someone can have a seven. How is it fair that a team with a 17-0 record and a team with like let's say a 9-8 record both advance into the next round? Do you know what I mean? It's different World Cup where first and second go through because that's only over 3 games. But see over the long, like I know they've talked about doing a playoff thing in Scotland, right? Let's say the top 8 in the league, like after 33 games, went into like a quarterfinals system. How would it be fair that the team in 8th is going into the quarterfinals when they could be like 40 points behind Celtic, and then there's only 3 games away from winning the same league trophy that Celtic would win?
You know what it is? It's just to force entertainment.
No, I will say like that way in American football, right? It does, everything's totally alive until the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? You're never out. Nobody can. Yeah, you're gonna have your favourites, but it's never going to be over till it's over. Whereas, I mean, in the league format, as unfortunate as it is, you can get halfway through a season and it can be practically done.
See with that format,
I mean,
right?
Look at this season we're in right now. Celtic have won the league.
Yeah, but see, yeah, it makes.
But if this was American football, it'd be like Celtic and Rangers. It'd be
yeah, but on the flip side of that, when Rangers won it by 25 points and Celtic won it, by 30 points to Aberdeen, it's like, well, what's the point of going 25, 30 points clear when all the teams down to 8th are going to be with you? It's the same with Leicester when they won the league. Imagine Leicester that great season, then it's, oh, sorry guys, but you're going into this playoff here.
And you have to play 8th place.
And then also,
fucking,
say Celtic and Rangers, right, one season, just both have absolute shite seat, and for whatever reason finish in the bottom 6, but they finish 7th and 8th, and they get fired in their playoff, and one of them wins it anyway. You're sitting there with egg on your face. It's shite.
I think the playoff thing works in America because it's always been that way.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine because sometimes if you grow up with something and you're used to it, then you don't really know what you're missing. And I like American football, and I'm not demanding, I'm not asking that it changes and becomes what our football is. And the same with our football, I like the way wins and draws are dished out with points. I don't want it to be as simple as you either win or you lose, and then you have a playoff depending on how high you finish up your league. I think it's garbage, so we'll just keep both sports separate.
Yep, that's it. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised that in our lifetime, English football incorporates something like that.
No, definitely, because in the way
because games are going to get played in New York soon. Games are going to get played in the Tokyo Dome. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah, but do you not think we can argue, money's ruined football and all this, and the Premier League is so commercialised? But I think if they implement that, then that is football. Obviously, it's not, I would say it's dead, but football as we know it would be over. Yes. And it would be a different sort of football from now on. But I guess you could argue they've kind of done that with the Champions League.
Yeah, you could.
You look at it now, like.
You could, but you know what? We've ranted here on shite for about 28 minutes. Celtic win, Killie go out, Celtic are in the hat, and like we said, there's 3 more games to go. Then we've got a Scottish Cup 5th round draw on Monday. Who would you want and why?
You know what? Someone's got to beat them. Give us Celtic at Tynecastle.
Nah, give us Celtic at Ibrox.
Come on, can he get it done?
What do you mean? He just did.
I know, but it's a one-off.
One-off.
Give Critchley his chance.
According to Ian Cameron, Big Phil's got Brendan Rodgers' number. I think that's fucking ridiculous.
After over one game, like
right, yeah,
maybe the cup as well, but I mean, come on. 2 games were Alright, 1 game where Rangers were competitive, and 1 game where Rangers, were the dominant team.
See if he's got Brendan Rodgers.
What about all the previous games where Celtic smashed Rangers?
No, see if he's got Brendan Rodgers' number. It must be his burner phone from back at his fucking Swansea days, because it's not the current one. I tell you that much.
Aye, and even other Rangers, like YouTube, like CJ Noble, we can turn up, we're fine against Celtic, it's the wee teams we struggle against. Up until the last 2 Old Firms, right? When was last time Rangers still haven't won a competitive a meaningful Old Firm game in like fucking 3 seasons?
No, it's...
Yeah, he talks as if, Rangers can beat Celtic easy. It's just the wee teams that can't beat.
I don't get that logic, but anyway...
How can anyone think like that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense, but Rangers...
No, that's 2 games where Rangers have, albeit done well, cup final, they played well, lost. Now, that was the one that actually meant something. The one that we had, January 2nd or whatever, that didn't mean as much. And Rangers won, but it's not going to decide the league title. It's not going to bring Rangers back into it. They won that, but again, just like the one that Beale won, didn't decide anything. League was already over. So yeah, Rangers haven't beat Celtic in almost 3 full years. The last one would be that
semi-final.
Yeah, that Gio won against Ange, and that's approaching 3 years ago. So I don't see this logic where Rangers have got Celtic's number. Rangers can beat them, no bother. It's just the wee teams that can't beat.
Well, the fact of the matter is this: Rangers will have to beat Celtic at some point, I believe, to win this Scottish Cup. Stay tuned for it, guys. All that good stuff here on Fog Football. And till next time.
Playoffs are push.
Aye.